In this tiny tutorial, let's talk about trying to fix one of the photo organization problems we have on our iPhones. Now, as I'm preparing this, we're in iOS 6. Now, in the fall of this year, 2013, we'll have iOS 7, and it may make some of the stuff we talk about here redundant, though I think you're going to like it anyway. So let's take a look at what this problem is. I'm going to, on my iPhone, launch Photos. And in here, you'll notice I have my camera roll. There's a nice picture of a lizard, much too nice of an image to be one that I took. It was a capture for a neighbor off the web. And there's some other albums in here: Christmas Slideshow, Funky Test, Gold Prints. Now, all these extra albums were either made via iTunes, like this one of Gold Prints, and if I go into there, you'll see there are about 9 images in there. But you'll notice I can't add. If I hit Edit, all I can do on here, if I tap Edit, is I could select images here and I could share them, but notice I can't delete these or add to this album. So the albums that we create via iTunes on our Macs or PCs, they're enduring albums. That is, they won't be corrupted. You can't trash them, but you can neither add to them nor can you delete. They're not modifiable without going back to iTunes on your computer. And that's kind of a big downside. The other way, with this plus up here, we can tap that and we can make new albums. Then you'd enter the name for the album and you'd hit save, and then it would prompt you to add images to that new album from your existing albums you already have on here. Now, that's all well and good, you say, but let's take a look at what happens sometimes. Do you see these 3 guys? Oh, there's a storm system threatening millions in the Midwest. That's a bad thing. Down here, do you see this? These are what I call vampire albums. They're dead. These are additional albums that I created this way on my iPhone, added images to it, but then later deleted those images on my iPhone. At some point we have to clear out our camera roll, and that's the downside of these on the iPhone created albums. If you delete the images from the camera roll proper, they're also deleted from here. So you end up like here's one for Hidden Gallery Tour, an event that's happening in just a couple weeks here in Palinville. There are no photos or videos in there. Kind of a bummer, huh? So I don't have much use for these because, sure, you build an album, you add images, and they're really just kind of linked to the original image that is back somewhere else, like in your camera roll. So that's a bad feature. Yeah, you can make this extra album, but if you happen to delete the kind of the original parent image from your camera roll, they're deleted from here, and you end up with one of these vampire albums. So what we're going to talk about today is a better way to actually have some photo organization on your iPhone. And that leads us, let's scoot over here, to this app, Photo Manager Pro. And let me show you on the App Store what that looks like. We'll go to the App Store, and there's the whole name, Photo Manager Pro, and there's what the icon looks like. It does not show the price on here. I think it's $2.99, so it's not a real cheap one. I mean, it's about the cost of a good cup of coffee at Starbucks, huh? But it's well worth it, and it is universal. That means it will work equally well on your iPad and iPhone. And let me show you what I like about it. I'm going to jump over here to Photo Manager Pro. When you launch it for the first time, they will give you some what they call folders, which is a metaphor that we're used to on our Macs and sometimes PCs. So they'll give you one family. Notice this one, friends. There's nothing in there because obviously I have no friends. But that one, I just left that on here because it was built in. But I made one called Furry Friends. I think Funny was one that they had built in, and all I've put in there is like a video from one of the workshops I taught and a picture that I label where I parked at the airport in section W at the airport, which is very incredibly humorous. But you can create extra albums on here. Here's one I made called Portfolio. So what's great about this is you can import images and they remain full size into here. They are not linked to the originals in your camera roll or any other album. So if you delete the other image in your camera roll, it is not deleted out of here. So these are enduring. So you can have albums in here of special projects that you want to be able to show people, and you don't have to worry that they're going to get changed inadvertently. So I love this. You can see the metadata. If you tap on the image, that goes away. You can give slideshows from here by tapping play, and you can hit different transitions. You can edit the metadata. You can even rename your image. Of course, you can give it like a 5-star rating by tapping on your star system. So there's a lot you can do in here. They even have, see this little P2P transfer thing up here at the top, this little menu item? If you have Photo Manager Pro installed on multiple devices, it has its own peer-to-peer transfer feature built in that you can wirelessly, with either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, send images from one iOS device to another. And that may be a feature come iOS 7 that is a little bit redundant. I think it will still come in handy for us. So this app I find incredibly useful. In fact, Jill, my wife, recently gave a presentation via projector, and rather than use Keynote on the iPad or iPhone, which is very good, but she just used Photo Manager Pro and organized a group of images and was able to give her whole slideshow right from this, plug in her iPad mini into the projector, and it just worked out great. So I highly recommend Photo Manager Pro for organizing, keeping track of your different albums. You can, of course, email from here. There's a lot of stuff you can do on here, dig under the covers. Most of us only use about 30% of what any app or application on our computers can do. But with Photo Manager Pro, I think you'll really enjoy being able to create these very logical, very organized folders, and you can even have subfolders. It does a lot of things that are going to make your photographic life on your iOS device really, really useful.